Here it is, the brand new Rotax 916IS powered RANS S21 aircraft, built by the man himself, Ronnie Smith, on his farm here in Lucedale, Mississippi. Coming up right now. Ronnie Smith is sort of known in these parts, and well, a bit around the world for his work with engines. And very specifically, the Rotax line of engines. This isn't his first airplane project, but it might be one of the greatest. Alright, so stopped out here in Lucedale, Mississippi at Ronnie Morris's place. This is Ronnie. So the S21 behind us has flown all the way from Alaska and back, and it has the new 916 Rotax. I want to stop by and talk to Ronnie about the details. All right, so we'll do kind of like a walk and talk around Ronnie's plane here. When was it completed? It's been a little while now.
Well, I went to have to look and see. It was signed off in March, I think it was. Okay. In March or first part of April, somewhere along in there when it got signed off, and we got it up and got flying it.
So the paint is no longer wet, but it's a new airplane. Let's do a walk and talk. This comes as a kit from RANS Aircraft, and how does it come to you as a package? Well, I mean, it obviously it comes all crated up. It's an all metal airplane, which makes it nice. So it fares in the weather, and it's not in the fabric. Of course, it depends on, a lot of people like to build fabric airplanes, but this is an all metal airplane, and it's got Stewart system paint on it. As far as that goes, it's got a full Dynon instrument panel on it, which is way more than about twice as much instruments I normally put in one, but I figured it may be my last one that I build, so we souped it up with a little bit of everything in it. So, but as this comes, the cabin frame is welded, the fuselage you still have to build, and the wings you still have to build, correct? Yeah, the frame is a chrome moly welded up cage frame, and then the tail's a monocoque aluminum tail on it that built up, that's a pop rivet put together. And the wings are all aluminum pop riveted. Okay, and how long, I know you're in between doing lots of stuff here at South Mississippi Light Sport, engines and stuff like that, but in between all of that, about how long does it take to build one of these RANs? Well, you can't go on my time frame, because sometimes we get to work on it and it may be a year before we work on it later. We picked the kit up in November of 2019, and we finished it in 24. But there was years there that we never even touched it. We was too busy doing everything else, and just didn't get to it. And I was trying to finish another airplane also, so I vowed not to start this plane until I got through with the other plane. Now, this probably isn't your first RANS dealings, but is it the first all-metal RANS? No, actually we built the RANS S19. Is an all-metal plane, and I still got it. It's down at the other hangar, but that was the first all-metal one that we built. Ronnie, so one of the big things to me, I've seen several 21s out there. This is the first one I've personally laid eyes on that has the 916. There's probably a couple out there by now flying. Yeah, I think there's maybe 4 or 5 now that's out there flying. Okay, and what's, obviously you've had several of the Rotax, this is what you do. So what's the experience from a 912 to the 914, the 915, now the 916, flying behind the 916? Well, the 916, as you know, it's got more oomph to it. It's 160 horse on takeoff. So you got it's very, very smooth running engine. We like it, although I put close to 500 hours on a 915, which I like very well too, but we've run just about all the different engines on different planes that we've built in the years. Anyhow, sort of paying that to show them that we're not only build airplanes and stuff, we do farm, so they're trying to get ready to go start picking peanuts. So is there anything different about this installation from a 915 that you've done previously? It's pretty much the same thing. Well, the 916 is with the extra horsepower that it puts out, it's a little harder to cool than the 915. It takes a little more, it takes a bigger intercooler on it. And everybody's been scrambling trying to figure out how to keep it cool. We're pretty close to having it down where we want it now as far as the temperatures. They're working quite nice now.
Is that mainly just internal baffling or playing with radiator sizes? Or?
Yeah, different where the radiator's located, where the intercooler's located. I didn't want no big scoops on the side of my cowling, and I didn't want big aqueducts on the side of my cowling. So I opted to go with this cowling here and put everything onto the bottom. But you got to get you notice the small aqueduct on the cooling side. That's the air, fresh air coming in for the turbo, and that is a must. You got to get cool, fresh air going to that turbo, or you can't keep it cool at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's obviously you've got a nice, what is the length of the runway here?
The runway?
Yeah.
It's
the length?
3,000 foot of grass.
So you got a good 3,000 foot of grass, as you said. Yeah. So you've got a good test and play yard.
Oh yeah. Well, Daddy put that runway in here in the mid 50s, so it's been here a long time. Me and my brothers and kinfolks, and they don't tell how many people that's soloed off of this strip right here.
So what does your testing format look like, especially dealing with cooling issues? Do you just go up and stay around the pattern and stay in the climb, or a mix of climb and cruise, or how do you accomplish?
Yeah, well, I mean, basically climb out and cruise is you've got to get to temperatures where they're going to be manageable on your climb out to be able to utilize the power for any length of time. That's the first thing that you got to get sort of settled down. Once you get that settled down, then the other sort of falls in place as far as the cooling part. But it's a hard engine to cool, especially the intercooler and the oil and the stuff on it to keep it cool properly. And we're real close now with where we got now. But if you change one thing, you think you're moving and going to help the situation. And when you change it to say the oil temp's running too hot and your water temp's running right, you change something and make the oil temp cool down, now your water temp's gone up. So it worries you to death trying to get all the little things, because there's one little change changes a lot of other stuff. So it's a working process basically. If you had a wind tunnel and then had hundreds of thousands of dollars to do testing with, I guess you could do it all that way, but we just sort of do it the redneck way. We try something, go out and try it and see if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't.
All right, I'm gonna pop in here real quick to talk about our sponsors. As you know, I can't do this all on my own. We got to have somebody to help fuel that truck. We try really hard to work with sponsors that provide a good service and a good quality product. So let's talk about those guys right now. Dynon Avionics at Dynon.com, the premier provider of glass panel avionics systems for experimental and light sport aircraft. And visit our website at experimentalaircraftchannel.com for new videos and easy to navigate playlists and so much more. Speaking of fueling that truck, if you guys want to join us on our Patreon page, become patrons of this channel, just search on Patreon for Experimental Aircraft Channel. Sign up. There's several different levels, so check that out. So obviously I believe Rotax would prefer you to use an in-flight adjustable so you can take advantage of the whole horsepower range, and I see you've gone with the MT, which is pretty much the only or the preferred choice at the moment for in-flight adjustable?
No, there's several others out there, but MT has worked with Rotax and Michael Stock and them to develop that single lever hydraulic constant speed prop with the MT. That works quite well, but I prefer to have this is the same identical prop, the MT prop. It's the newest one out for the 916 engine. It's got the heavier hub and everything with it, with the bigger lugs and stuff on it. But I do a mechanical governor where I can control it and manipulate it to where I want it to be set, where I want to put my manifold pressure at that point in time. That's it's sort of old school, but it works that way. That way I can, if I've got a problem trying to cool down, I can manipulate my throttle position, my manifold pressure, and my RPM to get the temperatures to cool down where I need them at whatever point if I'm having problems.
So being that this is in-flight adjustable, you can take advantage of both sides of the envelope. So what kind of, with the 916 now on this platform, the S21, what kind of climb out can you see, and then what kind of cruise, once you engage that propeller fully, what are you seeing?
Well, obviously the prop set turn at roughly 5,800 max RPM on takeoff, and it'll hold that. It just depends on how hard you want to pull the nose back and how much you want to go up and how in watching your temps, but you can easily see 15 to 2,000 foot a minute rate of climb at about 70 miles an hour with it. How long you sustain that now, it's hard to say, but you can go to 2,000, 2,500 foot, and that before you start having to back off and level off and get in cruise at that point. But if you're going to run a 915 or 916 engine, a constant speed prop is basically a must, or otherwise you've given up so much of what this engine is designed to do. And it loves to go to altitude. And with altitude with this plane and stuff, you can get your cruise and ground track way on up to where it goes and gets on out there and stretches out pretty good. And your airspeed depends on, okay, how much fuel do I want to burn today? You can push the manifold pressure on up and you can burn a lot of fuel, or you can get a happy medium and burn less fuel. Just depends on what you're looking at. A lot of times if you're in a hurry, you can push it on up and bring it on up to indicate 140, 145 miles an hour easy. If you go to altitude, you'll be indicating true airspeed up in the 150 mile an hour range.
Sure.
So Randy's done a super job with this particular airplane, and it shows because of the popularity of it. Is a lot of people out there likes it. As far as what speed range it has a good slow speed capability along with a real good cruise speed.
Okay, Ronnie, so we've talked about the front end, the business end of this thing. Let's jump in the interior here and talk about your panel and what you got in here.
Yeah, but like I say, the panel has the dual Dynon HTX 1100s in it. Latest model when we ordered this in. I wanted all the capabilities that I could get in this particular one, but I wanted to keep it as compact and as clean as I could keep it. So we stacked all the radios and all the other stuff here with a single stuff here. We got a few breakers right here, the throttle quadrant here, so everything works, flows real nice with it. As you can see, you've got all kind of capabilities with the Dynon. With this setup, it's got more stuff to do to it than I'm smart enough to do myself now, but I'm slowly learning on it. It also is set up, I wanted it set up with a capability to be fully IFR. It has the Garmin 175 certified GPS in it. And it can be certified full IFR capabilities, and with that, with the autopilot and everything in it, to be able to shoot approaches, GPS approaches and stuff with it. That was one thing. Whether I'll be able to do it myself, I don't, probably not, but it just made the airplane more of an airplane to be able to later on down the road if I did decide to sell it or not.
Sure. Now, one thing I had noticed, just kind of poking around here, very nicely done interior, by the way, between the seats and the paint and all that. But I did want to zoom in on here. The S21 has, is that true, 180 pounds worth of baggage? That's a whole nother person.
Yes, it is.
Maybe not my person.
Well,
but
Randy sets it at 180 pounds if you put the Titan engine on the front of it. I labeled it at 180 pounds because I put the Rotax motor on the front, so okay. I figured it could handle 180 pounds back there. But you got to be careful with, obviously, when you load it, because you can load it and get it off CG if you're not real careful.
As I say, that's a lot of camping gear.
A whole lot of camping gear. And when you leave to go to Alaska, you got a whole lot of camping gear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would bet.
We had 180 pounds of stuff in here or more.
Nice. All right, Ronnie, since we're out here, might as well explain to people a little bit about what you do. Not only do you have a passion for building airframes, but for work, you work on Rotax.
Well, that's our main forte here, is working on the Rotax engine. Been doing it for over 35 years. This particular engine here is sold to a customer. It went through the shop, serviced out, and we just finished running it, doing a test run on it to make sure everything makes full power, it all runs correctly, don't have any oil leaks or anything like that before we get ready to do a leak down and check it all out and then box it up and send it to the customer.
So what is the full spectrum of services that you offer here?
Well, we're qualified for as anything on the Rotax engine all the way up through full overhaul.
Okay.
Morris and I both are qualified for his overhaul capability, although we don't do any overhauls because we normally sell a new engine rather than overhaul it, and that's where we use these trade-in engines to service them out and sell them to a customer and save a customer that's not going to put that many hours on an engine. This engine here will last him a long time and do a lot of flying with him.
And between you and your son Morris, you guys also do Rotax training. Want to talk to us about that for a minute?
Yes, sure. Yeah, we're a training facility for Rotax IRMT training facility. Have been for 15 years or better. Here, Morris has pretty much taken over that category, that title as doing the main instructor. We do everything from two-stroke all the way up to heavy maintenance out there. In fact, him and I are the only other two heavy maintenance instructors in the United States, other than Eric Tucker, who is our master man who taught us all how to work on these engines to start with. Mr. Tucker did. But we schedule 1 to 2 courses a year, maybe even more now. Morris has built a new facility, and we're looking at scheduling and doing more class schooling and stuff with more hands-on, so people can come out and actually work on and see actually the engine itself, how easy it is to work on it. But it's simple, but it's just a lot of little things that you need to know and go through the school and learn.
All right, so as we wrap this kind of walk and talk tour of Ronnie's S21, he let me know about a little event happening at the end of next month in October. You can come out and see this aircraft in person, see this engine, and talk engine. So Ronnie, what's going on at the end of October here?
Well, every year in October, the 4th weekend in October, we've had our October Light fly-in. Been doing that for almost 30 years now. It used to be a lot bigger than it was. It's sort of tamed down, but on the 4th weekend in October, we'll have some stuff going on Friday afternoon with flying. We've got a host of instructors and stuff will be here giving rides, and we'll have a lot of locals or wherever they come from, all depending on the weather, obviously, how far they'll fly in, but they fly several hundred miles to come over to spend the day to just visit and stand around and look at airplanes. You know, that's what we do at fly-ins, you know, and talk airplanes. But
so Ronnie's being a little bit humble. I was here last year and there was a lot of aircraft here and a lot of aircraft on the runway and in the air. So definitely lots to see.
Yeah, and we're trying to vamp that up a little more this year. We want to do my nephew and his 2 nieces who are CFIs are coming in from Idaho. That'll be here. That'll be flying different planes and giving demo flights all day, well, Friday and Saturday. So we like to get as many people up as we can get up to let them experience the flight and stuff. And because, you know, we have to keep bringing, if we don't keep bringing younger folks up in this industry, all of us are going to get old at some point in time, you know.
Yeah. So this is located in Lucedale, Mississippi. What's your airport identifier?
22MS.
22MS. And it's 3,000?
3,000 foot of grass.
3,000 foot of grass. There's lots of rolling hills here. There's some oak trees. Camp under the wing if you come on Friday to be here for Saturday.
Yep, we got plenty of room for camping if you want to come camp. We got a couple of hookups, but you had to call and first come, first serve on it. But we got plenty of room for camping, so if you run out of room, we got plenty of field. We just are harvesting peanuts now, so you can go sleep in the peanut field if you need to.
All right, one more time of the date was October
24th and 25th.
Okay.
I think that's correct.
25th and 26th, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday. Yeah.
All right, so hope to see you out there. I am making every effort to come out here. We came out here last time with our family and camped out in a tent, and it was just a good time.
Great.
Good family time. And where can people catch you online to learn more about your training and engine shop?
Well, our online stuff is not, we just Mars and me here now, so just give us a call. The numbers are correct on the web page, but just give us a call and we'll run through the training dates and stuff. Right now we don't have anything scheduled until January, but next year we're probably going to vamp up and do more training next year.
Okay, all right, well thanks for the S21 tour today.
Great,